What's going on, guys? Welcome back. I'm here with my boy John, as always, and we've got Ryan Poloway and Kade Sloan joining us for this episode. We're going to dive into turkey hunts, we're going to dive into camera gear. Let's get this show started.
Listen, I'm just excited that as our first guest, we have on our two buddies, right? So, Ben, whenever you said that we were going to talk about it, it's when it's kind of cut off. But anyway, I'm just excited to talk to you guys and dive into all things cameras, turkey hunting, and Lord knows whatever else we get into. Because listen, whenever Cade's involved, you never know what kind of rabbit hole that dude's going to go down. So I'm just ready for this conversation, man.
Yeah, we're excited to be here.
Yeah, it's going to be a good
Excited to be
conversation
here.
nonetheless. All right, so let's dive into this. So, guys, what first question I've got for you for today is what is your favorite animal species to film and why?
Ooh. You want to go first? You go ahead.
Oh man.
Elders first.
All right. Well, when I was young, I started mostly fishing and then got more into sports like skateboarding, snowboarding, all that. And then, so ducks is what really grabbed me first, like waterfowl and filming waterfowl. And kind of just went head first into that, got addicted, just kept upgrading the camera gear. I'd say that was my favorite for a long time. I still love that. I still love like snow goose hunting and filming all that. But with turkey season coming and just the last few days filming turkeys, I just get so fired up filming something different sometimes than waterfowl. Probably just because I've just spent so much time staring at a screen, editing shows and working on that content, that doing something new is just more exciting after a while. So right now, turkey, I'm gonna have to say turkey is my favorite thing to film right now at the time, but it fluctuates, definitely fluctuates.
That's awesome. I freaking love turkeys, man. Cade, what about you, bro?
I don't know. I mean, I grew up, hunting, fishing at a young age, and kind of always liked doing video stuff, and didn't matter exactly what I was filming back then. Now getting into it, I kind of started off kind of like my like Ryan, and I had a really good buddy of mine. He was doing waterfall content, filming down in Texas, and he invited me to join him like 3, 4 years ago. And ever since then, I've really enjoyed waterfall, filming waterfall. But I'd say after doing a couple out west trips within the last couple years for deer, and I think I've got hooked to that more than anything else. Filming turkeys with Ryan the past couple days has been really fun, and I know it should be a good spring. Hopefully we get on some turkeys, and maybe that will be the new one. But really, it just depends on where my head's at the time. Honestly, like sometimes in the summer, I'm all about I just want to make a bunch of fishing content. Then waterfall season rolls around, it's like, man, I just can't wait to get after waterfall filming, and then deer season comes and it's like that's all I can think about. And now it's like we haven't been filming much other than editing a bunch of shows, and I think it's just for me it's more of just like what may be in season, and then eventually I might get worn out for a little bit, and then it's just like when it comes back around the next season, I'm probably just as excited as I was the first time I did it.
Yep, yeah, for sure. That's kind of the nice thing about the way we break up.
So, did y'all like have a love for videography first and then like kind of learn how to edit? Or, I mean, because they kind of both got to go hand in hand, right? If you're going to do it for a living or no.
I think for me, it started off just having fun with friends. And at the time, I was younger and we just loved to skateboard and we just go through the cities and like find all these great spots, hang out together and just skate. And then it was like, okay, well, we want to watch each other, like do these tricks and like make videos for fun that we can watch at home with our friends. So it's like we just put together these like just small videos with all the friends that we'd have, and then we'd all get together, hang out, and watch them together, and laugh, and just enjoy watching each other skate and do stuff in street skateboarding. And then we even take it to snowboarding, go up on the mountain, and film like vlog style, have fun, and it was just something fun to watch and then have and rewatch together. And then from there, as I started getting more and more into hunting. Like I did a lot of fishing young, but I didn't have like a lot of exposure to hunting in my family at a young age until like in my 20s. I started doing more hunting with friends that hunted a lot, and I was the only one that kind of was obsessed with camera gear at the same time and like filming everything like that sports type stuff. So I started taking it to that the realm of the hunting outdoor stuff, and then I just became really like enthralled with like okay, like getting these cinematic type shots or trying to make like almost like a movie out of hunting stuff and just how to make it look cool. And also it was still that aspect of I just want to go out hunting with my friends and capture it all so we can hang out and watch it. And it wasn't so much about like creating content back then or like trying to get views or anything. It was really just I just want to watch like hunts with me and my friends having a good time. That's kind of how it started. And then as it developed over the years, it kind of got to a place where, well, I can do if I take it serious, I could do this as a full-time gig and really do something I enjoy. And it's not really a job so much as it is doing something you love every day. It's kind of like the direction, thankfully it's kind of going right now and we're working at it.
Excellent. So let's dive into cameras. So if somebody is beginning to film,
Mm-hmm.
what kind of camera would be suitable for that? And what kind of settings do they need to look at for filming turkeys, ducks, and deer?
I mean, there's a lot of different routes you could take. It really depends on what people's budgets are. You got cameras we're shooting on. That's I'd say middle of the road. Then you got cinema cameras that are meant for making movies, and guys have been changing the game with those types of cameras recently, especially in the outdoor industry. And
Mm-hmm.
that's super high budget. You could be anywhere from $8,000 all the way up to 60K
Mm-hmm.
just for a camera. That's not even including your computer software, lenses, all the other odds and bells and whistles that you need
all
to do
the
this.
accessories.
So I mean, it really depends on the budget, because a lot of guys, the GoPro nowadays is getting really good.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't really have that fisheye, the fisheye look that they used to have on the older models.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you could start there, and if you really got into it, I mean, the new iPhone shoots a vlog.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've seen some guys on social media pumping out content with their iPhone that's just as good as the stuff I shoot on my Sony. It just depends on. It's more of like what the beholder can do,
Mm-hmm.
more than anything else. Getting certain shots and just having an eye and a knack for it. And most of the time, you'll get better over time. But I mean, some guys are just gifted like that. They're just artistically gifted and able to see shots before they're filmed,
figure out transitions that are
and that's huge. But if you're gonna roll into something else, I know Canon's got great beginner cameras that are in that lower $2,000 range. But in my opinion, I've learned that a camera, the cameras are nice, but your glass at the end of the day is going to be what really makes it. Nice glass,
Mm-hmm.
nice lenses are huge. So you can kind of skimp on the camera body to begin with, and maybe go out and get some better used glass. Overall, which long term is going to help you out when you start upgrading that body. At least your lenses are just going to keep on going with that system that you already have. So it's kind of hard to say what's good, what's not. It's more of a personal thing. And in terms of settings, I mean, it's more of just learning. You got three huge things I'd say that you need to learn, and that's f-stop, shutter, and ISO. Those are the biggest things. Shooting a manual, you don't need to log and all these other color profiles that these newer cameras have on them. You don't need to dive right into that. Shoot and rec, and
just getting an understanding of exposure.
Yeah, just getting the exposure down correctly, down pat, and just learning the overall system that you decide to go with is the biggest thing. Learning. Yeah, exactly. It's just the overall composition of whatever you're trying to shoot, basically, is all it is. and exposing that right is going to obviously make your image look better or can make your image look worse. Um, so that's something huge. YouTube is the biggest friend. I still to this day learn a lot of stuff off YouTube, and even
Every day.
nowadays you can go on to Instagram, scroll through reels, and there's a lot of great guys out there nowadays
Sharing tips and
that
tricks.
are doing a bunch of different stuff. I'm learning new stuff every day, and
Yeah.
I mean that's just like anything else. This is an art,
Yeah.
and you can only get better. If I'm not getting better, then probably should stop doing it. So
That's the humbling thing about being enthralled and just really wanting to do better all the time with camera gear, and like editing and videoing and just videography in general and photography, is there's always somebody else I'm finding inspiring out there. And if it's not like my friends that are doing something cool, or my friends' friends, or somebody that I meet along the way, every time I go somewhere new and hunt with new people, you're constantly kind of meeting new people. And the more people I meet in this, you know, in this field, I guess if you want to call it, the more things we learn from each other. Like one might have stronger elements in the photography, one might have stronger elements in the editing, one might have stronger, understanding of the videography, and you all sit there and kind of brainstorm, talk about things, and teach each other and help each other, and you tweak things and you get better. And that's what I like about it so much. Every day I can sit down, maybe I'll sit down with Kade on Premiere, and he'll be able to show me something that's simple that I've been wanting to do for a long time that he's just figured out. And then there could be some little photo hack that I'm like, oh, you just need to do this here. And all those things over time, you just start growing and getting more and more experience. So like as a new user, like if I could suggest anything, is like, don't be overwhelmed, because even me being, I'd say 8 straight years of really just using stuff this every day, like I'm still learning stuff to where, like, just even this last week where I'm shooting in new modes that are different than when I was just in Canada for a whole month of the fall, and my footage is already looking way better than it was just then. And it's just because no matter what, as long as you keep just trying to, dive in further and see what you can do to make it look better, you can always grow and get better. And that's kind of humbling for me. You look at these cameras. One of the things I suggest as a new photographer, videographer, somebody interested in it, is really doing the research on what you are trying to do. Are you trying to do photos more? Are you trying to do video more? Because you're going to find that certain cameras will have attributes that are designated more to photography or more to videography, or some have kind of like a mixture where you're getting a little bit of both worlds. And when you're going to purchase a camera, you want to be careful, make sure you do enough research to know what that camera is specifically designed to do. You don't want to end up buying one that's really heavy on the photo side if you're a video guy. You don't want to buy one that's really heavy on video if you're on that photo, if you're trying to take great photos. So like do lots of research, maybe even try to find a friend that might have one, ask a lot of questions, and then once you get it, get out and play with it, and just experiment in the manual modes, and just use it as much as possible, and you'll just start to get a better understanding.
Yeah, for sure.
So you guys mentioned like shots, right? Getting this shot and that shot. How many times, like if y'all are in Canada or you're spring turkey hunting, whatever it is, do you guys try to, like, maybe the night before or maybe even in the moment, try to picture what you want, or do you just kind of react and go with the flow whenever the animal is actually coming in? What do y'all like to do?
I guess for me it's more of just like been doing it for so long, and also having a great mentor, my buddy, him just showing me along the ways different shots, and then I'm just taking my own spin, and me being a creative mind myself, making up just random stuff,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of trial and error and just seeing what works, what doesn't. Some stuff is going to work every time. Some stuff isn't. Some stuff's going to work in this situation. Sometimes it won't. It really depends on a lot of things. What are birds, deer, or turkeys doing? What is your lighting? What's this? What am I generally like trying to shoot for? Am I shooting for a TV show? Am I doing short content? And all sorts of stuff like that really go into consideration. But really, it's just like so confident about getting what I like. At this point, it's just going out there and doing my thing type of deal is really what it is. It's
Yeah, you get into like a groove almost. If like when we go, Kate and I go up to Canada for quite a while, and we'll do spring and fall, a lot of snow goose. Um, and you get into like a rhythm. There's certain shots that you're going to need, and you kind of those ones are, you just kind of it's like you're just kind of it's like a no brainer. You're doing the same thing. It's repetitive. You know what you're going to need, so you got to get those ones. But then after that's complete it, like that's when you try to find new ways to make things look cool.
Yeah.
And then you try to put your own spin on it, like you said. Waterfowl is a little different because you're kind of stationary a lot, right? You're in one spot for the most part, and maybe you can get out of the blind and move to a different angle or get behind everybody, get a different angle, but it's not really like turkey or maybe stock like deer or something like that where you're running and gunning and you can get more unique, cool angles low of the guy's feet moving.
Mm-hmm.
You can get some of that when you get out of the blind when somebody's retrieving a duck or something. But when you're really like in elevated areas, like chasing mule deer out there, you're able to get more unique shots, experiment more, do different stuff. If you're fishing on a boat, okay, let's get an underwater angle of this fish with a different camera. Let's get the fish out of the water. Let's get, there's a lot more cool stuff. So that's why I think it's cool to be able to film all different types of outdoor, active, because then you get to experiment with a lot of these shots, and then you can maybe apply them to the other sport and see like what works. It's just fun.
And I've also found that, when you're filming with other guys, like when I'm with Ryan, he's doing this shot, and he may be like filming something. I'd be like, hey, dude, try this. He may like that, may not like it, but like most of the time when you're with other people when you're filming, that's why I like filming with him a lot, because we're always just like bouncing ideas out. Like, how about we try this? What do we do this? Mm-hmm. And if we're like, we look at it, we're like, nah, that's not it, man. Like, let's do something different. Next time we're out there, we try this. Oh, dude, that's right on the money. We love that. Mm-hmm. I've learned that it's a lot better, at least for me, when I'm with someone else that's creatively thinking. Mm-hmm. That's when like a lot of unique shots are done, because it's like, both of our minds put together. We're able to. He bounces an idea off me. Mm-hmm. I bounce an idea at him. Mm-hmm. The end product overall most of the time is going to be better, not only because we're capturing more content, but we're able to have that ability to bounce these ideas off each other.
Yeah.
And
like on a typical shoot with Ben, say we're going to go do something together. We usually will sit the night before and brainstorm all three together, and we'll be like, all right, guys, this is what we're going after. We're getting up at this, like your traditional, like when you're going hunting with a friend, the night before is all game plan. It's like, all right, this is where we've seen these animals. This is where we're going to be. This is what we're going to do. But when you're filming something, then there's all that on top of that. It's like, okay, how are we going to get three guys in there with all this camera gear? What kind of angles are we looking for? What kind of shots, are we looking to get? And that you kind of, and that's all part of like, we work like that, and everybody brainstorming together. That's where you come with some pretty cool.
And it probably depends on what kind of story you're wanting to tell, right, Ben? Like you for Rooted Television have an idea of, not only what you want people to see, but you want people to feel something. You want to tell a story to somebody, whatever that is. I'm sure that certain shots and things go into whatever story you're trying to portray.
Yeah, pretty much what I want with this is for people to feel like they're actually in the woods with us, enjoying the hunt with us through their TV.
Yep.
And another thing too that I would say is a valuable tip to know and understand is I appreciate these guys because they know all the stuff and they're constantly thinking of new things. And I'll say this to everybody out there, including the guys in front of the screens. If it wasn't for these guys, Rooted Television doesn't happen. I mean, it's the guys with the cameras that make this stuff happen. And actually, to be quite frank, their shot is more important than mine will ever be, because I can shoot all I want to, but if it's not clear, crispy, and on film, it doesn't matter, for what we're trying to do. I'm not saying that shot doesn't matter. If that's not what you want to do, that's fine. All I'm saying is it's really nice to have a group of guys that you can call up and say, hey, man, look, have this idea. What are your thoughts? And then it's just boom, 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 boom. You got everything planned out. All right, cool. Let's try to make it happen. Sometimes it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Sometimes a turkey does something totally different than what you expect it to do.
Yep. Exactly.
The hard reality of filming hunting versus a lot of other things that you could film that are a lot easier.
Yeah. The variables are, you can't control a lot of these things out here. And it's just like, you got to be quick on your feet, and you just
Yeah.
got to be able to make things happen when you may not be able to make things happen. Like we were out at one of Ben's farms the other weekend, and it was like we were trying to film, turkey content just for social media, and it didn't work out. We ended up getting snow, and turkeys ended up like being weird and staying in the woods, not coming out in the fields. And we decided to just shoot other content, and it was like then me and Ryan are bouncing ideas. Well, what do we do now? Okay, well, let's just do this. Let's shoot a few sequences, and I took over for some of it, and then when he's got an idea, he may be taking over, telling me what to do. Hey, do this, do this. He's telling Ben this. I'm telling Ben this, and it's really nice to just be able to do that type of stuff. But it's just being quick on your feet, and don't be afraid to try new things. Like you may go back and it may not work, but whatever okay, we'll not do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing that I know too is being able to know the settings on your camera and know them quickly, and even creating shortcuts on your camera makes your filming a lot easier when you're having to run and gun and switch things up really quickly.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah, having the familiarity, spending a ton of time with your camera in the off season, I highly recommend. If you get a new camera, it's not seasoned yet, doesn't matter. Take that thing out, hang out with your kids, hang out with your family, hang out with your friends, film just whatever. Go to the park, just film anything. Then color grade it or practice color grading or mess with the audio, get your sound down or get familiar with it, all your buttons. Make sure that you feel like you get to a point when you've used your camera for a long time, you're looking at your subject, and after a while, when you've used it for a long time, you don't even really have to look what you're touching. You just know by hand, kind of like Braille. Like you just know what you're feeling. You're like, I know my subject. Okay, I know, my ISO's here. I know my f-style. Okay, and then you're just glancing at the screen. You're looking up at the guy. You got to know, stand there. You're looking, and you're just seeing the colors change on the screen, and you don't even really need the numbers almost, and then you're just glancing at them real quick. Yeah, like okay, yeah, my light meter's right. I'm good to go. But that's where you want to get with the camera. You want to get so familiar that like you barely even need to look at the buttons, and you can just fly through. And once you're at that comfortable, like that's when you can go out into the field, and you're going to feel way more confident. You're not going to be rushing. You're not going to be shaking when the subjects or the birds or deer or turkeys. You're not going to be missing these shots that are so important because you've been kind of preparing for all that, and that definitely helps a lot.
So, how much stuff can someone fix, post like in editing? Like, is it like, man, the color's just not right here, even though they maybe got the kill shot on film or whatever? Like, is there some stuff that's easily fixable and some stuff I'm sure that's like, dude, there's no fixing that, brother?
Yeah, no, for sure. I'd say like in terms of color, at least when the style that Ryan and I shoot in, which we shoot on Sony's, so we have S-Log3. Canon is like Canon log, C-Log, and basically all that is it's a flat profile. You have no color. It looks gray when you put it into Premiere or any other editing software, and all you're doing is you're bringing that color back
manually,
and you're able to manipulate a lot of things. Like I can make greens blues, I can make blues reds, I can do all this different stuff to a certain extent. Obviously you can push it way past a certain limit, and then it's going to look obviously really messed up.
Lighting is huge. You can't prepare something that's one of the things, and I'm going to let you kind of like extrapolate on this, but like one of the things, if you're new, like when you're taking a photo, right, you can take photos darker and you can bring them up. When you're taking video, you take them typically a little bit lighter and bring them down. So it's like the reverse, right? So remember that when you're taking a photo, you can take a darker photo and you can bring it up. But when you're taking video, it's the complete opposite. So when we shoot, as he's explaining, in this raw format where the saturation, the color is totally gone, the sharpness is down, it's just this flat profile. It almost looks kind of blown out because you're shooting at a kind of a higher light and there's no color. And then when you put that into a program, you're able to manually bring all the color back in the places that you want it and bring that light back down. And you can control, basically there's way more information than if you were to shoot it in rec, which is just kind of like what you're seeing visually with your eyes. just kind of standard.
Yeah.
You could explain that
Yeah,
probably better
yeah.
than me.
Rec is basically what Rec 709 is basically your standard profile that eventually everything is eventually turned into, whether your movies, this or that. But that already has color baked into your image, so you're not able to do a lot of manipulation. You can do, a little bit here. It's just like if you're shooting JPEG to RAW,
Mhm.
you can only do a little bit to the JPEG file because it's probably smaller, and
Not
you have a
enough
lot of
info.
information baked already into it
Yeah.
through the camera.
Mhm.
When in a RAW file, it looks blah, like there's nothing there, and you're able to do a lot of manipulation without actually extorting your image or your
Mhm.
video. So that's huge. So like that's why eventually you want to work up to your S log 3s, your C logs, because that's just going to give you a whole different dynamic range. 10-bit color, you have like millions of colors to pick from
Mhm.
that are being able to bring back into that color, and that's huge. So
Mhm.
yeah, and you can really mess that up if you can be way too overexposed. It really depends on your image. If I'm
Yeah.
shooting a turkey on the ground and maybe it's got sky in the back, and the sky is way too overexposed, I don't care
And
about
by
that.
overexposed, you mean super bright.
Yeah.
Like just like white.
Which
You
I
can't
don't
bring back the clouds or the color.
I don't
Right.
exactly care about that because my subject is obviously a turkey on the ground. I'm exposing for my subject,
Mhm.
and that's something that you'll get used to with that's an eye for it. Some guys they like the Sonys have a lot already built in the camera that you can throw on there for
Mhm.
S-Log 3, and it gives you a base of what it's going to look like when you basically bring it back to Rec 709
Mhm.
in Premiere or in Final Cut.
Yep.
And so that gives me that gives us a base, and I'm basically just manipulating it on my camera with my settings, f-stop, ISO, shutter speed, to get something that I know. Okay, well, I want it to be in somewhere in this range. I don't really care about the highlights clipped out because I'm not. That's not what I'm worrying about right now. So, if you maybe get way too high and the whole thing is completely blown out, super bright,
Mhm.
then you're not going to be able to bring that information back. Like it's just gone. It's going to be just super white and faded, and you're not going to have color in it. It's just going to look really weird. And it's the same thing if you go too dark. You're not going to be able to bring a lot of that information back. Your colors are going to be gone. The blacks are going to have grain in them, and it's going to look. It's just going to look bad.
Exposure is one of those things that you need to spend the most time understanding, really, because it's setting your shutter is very basic. You're kind of always doubling whatever your format that you've chosen. Say you're shooting in like a 4K 24. You're going to set your shutter to a minimum of 50. If you're shooting in a 4K 30, you're shooting a minimum 60. It's always doubled. Say you're filming 120 frames per second. You're going to put that shutter up to 250 minimum for a standard shot. And then that's when you're going to notice, okay, now I've got that set. Now my f-stop has a little bit more clarity, not necessarily at that base, like the best 1.2 or the 1.4 came in. I crank that up to around a 5 or maybe even an 8, starting to get it darker, bringing my ISO up, level it all out. It's your sharpest image. You don't always want to run a lens right at your lowest f-stop, because sometimes what you're going to end up there is you're not going to have, there's like, you kind of have to do the research with your camera body and your lens, because sometimes you're going to have these little points in there where you're going to find a little bit better quality that's not at the lowest f-stop.
Yep.
And once you start getting that, then you start really getting some nice stuff.
So whenever you say exposure, is that like too much light, not enough light, that kind of thing?
So it's opening, basically imagine like,
It's like your eyeball.
yeah, imagine you have a circle, right? And I start closing that circle, and now barely any light's getting in there. Now I start opening it, and it's allowing light in there. That's kind of what's occurring, and it's changing your image.
But it's opposite though, because the smaller you are, the bigger it is.
Yes.
The bigger you're getting, the smaller you're getting.
Yes.
So it's opposite the way you're thinking about it.
It works just like your eyeball. When you walk into a dark room,
Mhm.
your eyes automatically dilate.
Yep.
So that way you can collect as much light as possible. When you go in a bright room, they
That's a very good
squeeze
analogy.
down.
Yeah, it's a good
So
analogy.
that way
There you
it
go.
only takes in so much light, so it doesn't, so you can actually see something.
Yeah, look at that.
So I mean, it's exactly the same. as
I always
as
have
your
such a
eyes.
hard time explaining these
It's hard to
things.
explain.
I
Like,
can
Yeah.
use them, and I often am embarrassed when people ask me what they actually do, and I'm like,
Mhm.
listen,
Yeah.
I'm not a camera scientist, but I can show you what to do with them. Now,
Yeah,
I can
yeah.
show you where you want it to be.
Yeah. So now on a zoom lens, telephoto lens, when you're going from, let's say, 150 to 600,
Mm-hmm,
that f-stop is not going to be
mm-hmm,
5.6
mm-hmm,
the whole
at
way through.
600.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's going to change as you extend that lens.
And that's
Depends on your lens.
depends
Some
on
lenses are
some
different.
yeah, and what you see typically there is darkening of the
Mhm.
image as you
Zoom in.
as
Yeah.
you zoom in, and that's when as you would zoom in and that f-stop increases, then the image starts to darken. That's when you're going to also have to manipulate
Your
your
ISO.
ISO, yeah,
And-
or your shutter.
Or like what I like to do. So like one of my favorite lenses I like to shoot on,
Mhm.
24 to 240 it's a 3.5 at 24, but at 250 it's a 6.3.
Yep.
So basically what I like to do is I just put that thing right at 6.3 and I never have to worry about it. You
Yeah,
know
so
what I
he's
mean?
setting his exposures to the highest so that if he zooms in all the way and zooms back out, he's already
At
set
6.3.
where it needs to be so that if he zoomed in all the way, he didn't have to change it if he's filming. So, because like imagine you were watching somebody's video and then they zoom in on the subject and now you see him changing the light in the middle of a clip. You'd be like, oh, that kind of looks weird. Like not real professional. But if I zoom in on a subject and I've already got it set right, I won't have to really play with anything. That clip's just going to look nice and clean. I'm zooming in, everything. You're not seeing light change really.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of where and that's huge. That's a very good hack.
Yeah, that's a pro tip.
Pro
That's
tip.
it.
That is a pro tip,
That's
guys.
pro tip right there.
Yeah.
Brought to you
So
by
yeah,
us.
sometimes setting your exposure to where your whatever your f-stop is at your max zoom. That's where
So I got another lens question. All right. So like, basic redneck me, like just goes and gets a camcorder. That way I can zoom wherever. Have you guys ever been in a situation where like you didn't have a lens that reached far enough, or you had a lens that reached too far and not close enough? Or like how does that work?
It happens all the time. As a great example is like today.
Yeah, this
You
morning.
know,
Yeah.
when you're out there filming these turkeys, when you're not hunting them, can be super boring because you're just sitting there waiting for the turkeys. Hopefully, the toms to come into your decoys, and when you watch them fly off the roost when you're there late, and you can see them fly down in the field, and they just strut around on the other side of the field, and you're just sitting there, and now you're pinched, and now you don't want to go. You go where you don't want to go, and they just chill there, and then you decide. Let's go sneak through the river bottom and get closer, and then you pop up on the other side of a little ass shelf, and pop up, and next thing you know, there's the toms coming right to your decoy, and you blow it all. So then you have to crawl all the way around on the side. And now the turkeys are 300 yards away,
And still blow it.
and somehow something happens on the other side of the field, and now you have like 80 turkeys flying right at you like it was an army.
Yeah.
Of
It's like
turkeys.
mallards coming out of the timber.
Oh yeah. Yep. And
it was a wild morning.
so
It
it
was.
happens. It happens a lot of times, and like that's why when you're in controlled environments, you can control what you want to control. You know what I mean? Like if I, that's why I like the 240 or the 24 to 240 because I have such a wide zoom, and especially like when we're in Canada, like that's basically the only lens that stays on my camera, except for maybe in the morning I'll run like a 24 prime. That's a 1 to 4.
Yep.
And just because I'm gonna want more light in the morning when it's super dark.
Yeah.
As soon as we're done doing decoy setups, I put on that 24 to 240.
Yeah.
And
what he's saying. So when you're, for instance, a lot of for anybody who's watching who likes filming waterfowl in fields, in layouts, or maybe A-frames or something like that. So you got a nice spread. Spread's maybe 20 yards in front of you, right? And your birds are coming in. A lot of times, if you're shooting a 24 or a wide lens, it's kind of a boring image to see the same shot
Wide
Oh,
shot.
while they're
over and
working the whole
over
way
and
to
over.
you, and then also it's the same shot once they do it. So what Kate's saying, this 24 to 240, awesome lens Sony makes. I love it. Kate, I love it so much. I had to buy the same one.
He copied me. He
Yes.
copied the swag.
Yes. But so 24 would be 24 millimeter, right? When you're fully zoomed out, you're getting this 24 millimeter. It's more of a wide shot. You're getting nice, wide, beautiful shot. Actually, that's what we're running on right now.
Yeah.
So if you see in this right now, this is the type of angle you'd be looking at.
This is 24. You're going to get a wide shot. But the nice thing about a 24 to a 240 is you can crank that. Boom. Now I'm at 240. These birds are far out and I'm tight on them. They're looking nice. They're working in. I'm following them up. I'm in the pack of birds that's moving. I'm tight on them. Detail's good. Now, as they get closer, I'm slowly racking this thing back as they come in, and they're coming in the decoy, so it's getting wider and wider and wider and wider. So you can see the whole spread. The birds are dumping in. You get more perception of where the birds are in relative, like to you and the shooter, and then you get a nice picture. And it's not just this monotonous kind of same shot following wide. It looks great, and that's something that's really good for waterfowl. I personally, that's my choice. But occasionally, you want maybe a 70 to 200 or something like that, and to get like maybe even closer to something for photos. But that's where you run into what you were asking earlier. Are you ever too close to something, right? I run into that because I like to swap between two lenses. I'll set something on my lap that's wider and something on my lap that has more zoom because I like to bounce back and forth and get cool shots and different types of shots. And then I might be screwed because I'm already recording. I'm in like a pretty far, 70 to 200, coming back only to 70 versus coming all the way back to 24 really wide. I'm pretty tight. And now all these birds are doing the decoys and I can't see everything. So I got to try to choose the part of the flock that I think is going to get shot the most and stay on that and hope the guys shoot that. And if these people don't, it could be kind of a ruined clip essentially, or it could look really cool if they shoot well. So you might get too close to something, and then that's why it's nice to have that range.
Yeah, and like what we were talking about before about like what you're trying to shoot, that plays a big part of it too. If I'm trying to shoot a TV show, I'm gonna put the 24 to 240 on because I can capture it all. It's a do all lens.
Yep.
Once you have enough light. But like 7200 is gonna be way sharper because it's just way higher quality of glass.
Yeah.
So if I'm trying to make like some cinematic, really crispy looking short content for Instagram,
Reels.
I might probably shoot on the 70 to 200 because maybe I don't really care about how many birds get shot in the flock. All I care about is how sharp and how clean images are looking. I'm going to run the 70 to 200. I'm going to run it at like a 2.8, and I'm only going to pick out like a small portion of that flock. And if they get shot, cool. If they don't,
it's cool.
At least I have a sweet shot for a cinematic reel that may only be 5 seconds.
Yeah, that's where it really filming a TV show, because obviously a TV show is going to be on a 16:9 probably. 1080p on most stuff, right? Yeah. So you're getting that wide screen, right? So when you pull back and that 24 wide screen looks great. But if you're watching a reel, we all know it, or TikTok or whatever, you got that 9/16 or whatever it is, right?
Yep, 9/16.
So that's tight. So these tight shots with these sharper lenses look awesome there. So if you're trying to film more short form content versus long form TV, different types of lenses are going to benefit you in different ways.
It all comes down, like if I had 3 like lenses I was going to get without getting, like, obviously if I was going to do like buy a one do all lens, it'd probably be like the 24 to 240. But if I was going to have like 3 really nice lenses
where I can shoot a lot of different stuff.
Personally, I like a 15 to 35 2.8.
Very cool.
Because then you can get like super wide shots,
even wider than a 24.
That is just ridiculous, almost fisheye looking, where I could be like right here in Ryan's face, and it still can get almost all the way down to like his belly button, And then I'd go somewhere with like a 24 to 70 2.8 because it's just quality glass, and then I'd do like a 70 to 200 2.8, and maybe I'd run, depending on what you like. Like I like to mess around with the 90 mil macro. stuff like that. And you can, mix and match, if you want more prime lenses, which are going to be a lot
Tell them what
higher.
Tell them what a prime
A,
is.
a prime lens is basically a lens that's, it's at a fixed focal length. There's no zooming. It's not a telephoto lens, but it's going to be way nicer most of the time than a telephoto glass, because most of the time it's way more expensive.
It's at a set
and
f-stop.
your f-stop is going to be a lot lower. And a lot, they're better lenses overall.
And those lower f-stops, great and low light,
are awesome.
Especially for filming decoy setups in the morning, or
for hunters that film in low light situations often,
or even doing deer recoveries. If you shoot a deer in the afternoon, you don't find them till that night. That's excellent for that.
Absolutely.
But they're going to be you're going to spend a lot more money, but you're going to get the bang for the buck.
Yeah, there's a reason.
Is really what it is.
They're more expensive, but there's a reason, and it's actually they're worth it.
But most of the time, for us at least, for him shooting photos, those can come into play huge, because he can run around with 85 mil on or something like that, or a 50 mil on, and he's going to get some nasty, crispy looking shots at like a 1.2 or a 1.4. But for the filming side of things, it comes to then it may not be very usable because we can't zoom. If I'm set at 85 and maybe birds are not doing it quite right, and they're not doing it right at our feet, then 85 I might be done. Birds might be at 40 yards, and they may look like they're at 100 because I'm just not there. I'm not able to zoom in. So for us, it's not practical on the filming side. For him, for photos, it can be really nice, but then again, we're not all made of money, so not all of us can have, absolutely.
You got to pace yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Like for me, like we're trying to get like FX6s and stuff like that, just trying to level up the game and that sort of stuff. Get into a whole different realm of
the more
the video
you spend time doing this, the more you're like, I'm gonna need that. I'm gonna need that. I'd like this, I'd like that. So you pace yourself and get the things that can get you by, and then
work
your way up.
Hone your skill, hone your craft, and learn it.
You can do a lot.
Upgrade.
I mean, you'd be surprised. Like I'm using an A7 III, and me and Kade have been tweaking this thing for a while, making it look dialed in, really good. And there's ways to make cameras that aren't the best camera out still right now, because things accelerate and they keep coming out with new tech. So I have my camera's outdated, but there are ways to make. Don't just give up on your camera if you can't afford one yet. There are ways to dig into that camera and figure out how to make it look just as good as some of these new cameras that are out. If not very close. You just have to really do the research.
You got to do a lot of critiquing. It's just us, doing this for so many years. Being able to know what good light is, and having for stuff like him shooting an S-Log3, like you have to nail exposure for it to look crispy. If you're off by a little bit in that sort of camera, an 8-bit, that's going to be night and day with how much noise you're going to have in an image. So that's just overall experience of getting out there and doing it, and do it all the time. If you're going to wherever doing something, just bring your camera, shoot something, get some clips, go back, practice color grading, go back and, like you said, practice your sound effects, practice this, practice your transitions. There's all sorts of different techniques out there to learn on even the editing side and the actual recording side of it, that you're just going to keep on learning, and eventually once you start doing jobs that maybe are making you money, then you start upgrading that gear as you're getting better and better. But you got to learn the basics first and really be excellent at them before you start going out and buying these FX6s and these FX3s and even an A7S3. Like if you run before you can walk, you're just gonna completely be confused, and you're gonna get frustrated, and then you're gonna get to the point where you're like, I'm not doing this anymore.
That's
and then you're gonna have all this money invested in it, and you're just gonna it's gonna all go to waste. When if you would have just walked at the beginning and got everything down, it's the same with anything else. If you're trying to learn how to turkey call, duck call, goose call, any other thing, you're not just gonna run in there and just start trying all these crazy competition sounds when you don't even know the basics.
You're gonna start by learning a quack. And then you're gonna take that and make a cadence. And then you're gonna take your cadence and make whatever you want to go with it from there. But the thing of it is that it's a step at a time. because you don't learn this stuff overnight. It's a lot of technical things that go into doing this,
Months
and a lot
months.
of variables.
Yeah.
A whole lot of variables. Filming hunts is not easy.
Mm-mm.
It is not easy, and you're gonna get discouraged, but just don't quit. Just keep going. And one day you're gonna wake up and be like, "Oh, I got it." You know, it just clicks, and it makes sense to you at that point. So that is what I would say is just don't give up and just keep going in the woods, keep taking that camera with you, and you're going to get really good stuff at some point or another.
Ask questions. There's a lot of people out there, like we said. YouTube watching, like I've watched so many hours of YouTube videos on color grading, exposure.
We'll be working on 2 different things. I'll be in my computer room, he'll be in his, and then we'll be sitting there like sending each other reels on some tip that I just saw that like, dude, did you see this? This is a great shortcut. There's so many people. The community is pretty friendly. Like, you know, people obviously don't want to give all each other secrets out there, but there's so much out there now on the basics side and even way more technical stuff now. It's awesome. Like just the internet now, if you're into this stuff, like coming up and you're young, like Kade's, he's younger than me by 20 years. I just aged myself, but we didn't have access to this stuff when I was learning how to film.
No.
Like when I was learning how to film, like we were just going out and like come home, put it and like look at it and be like, this looks terrible.
We're using
we got to figure out how to make this.
VHSs, man.
I was like, I got to figure out how to make this exposure better, like, and figure out like tricks. Let me come up with different transitions. Now, you know, there's so many people that like are inspiring that you can watch and be like, look at what these guys are doing. Like, I like this style. Like, let me run with that and tweak that and make like my own.
Make it your own out of kind of an idea.
And it just kind of keeps just making you want to do better. Like, you know, that it's like a competitive like thing I just have in me. Like, oh, I can do that. I want to do it. And like, and then we wake up and get up at 4 a.m. and chasing turkeys, and it's a month out yet because we just want to practice for when the turkey season really starts.
Exactly.
And we know we're dialed in. We're gonna get the footage we want the way we want it.
And we're just, you know,
and we just like doing
building
it. It's fun.
Backlog. You know, content is content.
Backlog.
And at the end of the day, it's really nice to be with some good dudes in God's creation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Watching the sunrise.
Exactly.
There's nothing better than sitting back and listening to some old longbeards gobble.
Yeah.
And watch the sun peek up over that tree, and you can see them all strutting on the limb, all that. And you know that God created them to do just that.
Yep.
You know, and He created us to kill them and eat.
We're here to chase after things.
I got a question. I got another question for y'all too. So we've been talking about a lot of technical stuff and all that's cool. Okay. I got a question of what is, in your opinion, like one of y'all's just best videos, best clips, crispiest things that you've ever made? I'm sure y'all got a story of one time somewhere. Like what is one of y'all's coolest videos or clips or whatever that y'all have made, recorded, whatever?
We'll let all swaggy
handle that
swaggy
one.
P over here can let her rip first.
Yeah, so I'm gonna run you through so that for me this is why it's humbling, right? Because I have been using a camera for like years, this particular one for probably almost 7 years, and until you know, I have to hang out with this young 21-year-old all the time here because we work together, we're colleagues, and he keeps me on my toes, and you know, things constantly are changing. And it's good, you know, to work with a cohort or whatever, you know, coworker, and giving each other a hard time constantly, and speaking each other and trying to get each other to be better. So believe it or not, I think my crispiest clip I've ever gotten was probably 2 days ago, because that's how crazy it is right now, and how rapidly things are always developing and changing in this industry, and like doing content and stuff. And it's because there's guys out there that have such high quality equipment, and to stay relevant on that level for me and competitive or whatever in that market, I'm trying to do what they're doing with equipment that's not necessarily at that level, and I'm saving towards some of the equipment that I know that they're using, because some of these people are friends of mine in the industry.
Right.
So I've tried to tweak what I have, and just a couple days ago, you know, we were just out turkey season's coming up soon, a month away or whatever. For some areas, it's coming up in a couple weeks in Florida. So we're just getting really excited. So get in the truck, driving around, doing what I love to do more than anything, just scouting, looking for turkeys, finding them, knocking on doors, making phone calls. First day out, got permission on a couple places to go over there. Nice couple. Hey, we noticed you have some turkeys. Can we get back in there? Next morning, we get out there, set up, and these toms and I don't know 15 jakes maybe just booking right to us. They came down from the roofs. Setup was perfect, and they're just hauling. And me and Kade are like, oh, okay, this is happening a little faster than we expected. But we got some great clips, and it's just funny that I've been filming for this long, and I'm still just now, like even 2 days ago, getting some of my best clips because, like I was saying, it's always like a progression thing. And I'd say that that's probably my best clips. Were just watching these toms strut and these jakes strut around, getting S-Log 3 really a good understanding of how to manipulate color grade, sharpen it, make those colors pop, shooting in that raw format. So just maybe 2 days ago, my best looking clip might not be the coolest thing I ever filmed. I mean, I filmed some amazing snow goose hunts and really cool waterfowl hunts. But in terms of just seeing a shot and being like, that's it. I freaking love the way that's looking. That couldn't look any better out of this camera. That was just 2 days ago for me. So that felt really good. It's rewarding after all this time to be like, me and Kate are looking at each other like, oh,
yeah,
that's dialed. Okay. Because you look at these cameras and we know, like, after you've been in a camera game for a while, you can see someone's footage and be like, that's on a red, or that's probably this FX6. That's probably this camera. You can kind of tell. And to try to get your camera to look close to that, even though when it's not, that's the goal. It feels good to like make an image look really good.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. That was.
I was telling them about our turkey story.
And we were late too. That was the crazy part.
We were late that morning.
We showed up and it was already light, and it was like, well, this is what we got. We're gonna just sit here. And
that seems to be a theme with y'all here lately, being late.
Yeah, we need to get stuff together.
In a row.
Yeah, we need 2 mornings in a row.
Up late twice.
Except today. Yeah. We didn't exactly get what we wanted, but we had a good time, so that's all that mattered.
Yeah, I did get to see 2 bearded hens that had massive beards on
some
them.
ropes on
them. Some ropes. Yeah.
The one had a beard. I would say the one had a beard like this.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
a good.
It was longer than the beards the times that we filmed
the other day.
So that was it was good.
What about you, Kate? What's your favorite clip that you ever?
Favorite clip?
Yeah, just
or like the clip. Favorite memory.
Not in terms of quality,
clip.
but like in terms of like your favorite clip.
Oh, I've had. So like this year we did, me and my buddies from back home. I live in Wisconsin. We did a out west bow hunting trip for the mule deer out in Montana, and I'd been out there 2 years in a row before that, gun hunting them, never bow hunting them. So we went out in September. I scouted for a week in August, and we ran into some good times out there, and some funny clips. Some heartbreaking clips and some pretty dang good clips too out there, chasing after these muleys out there in the plains. And I mean, I had one where my buddy Zach, we had been on he's bad luck, and we got so close to so many deer. And he'd flung a couple arrows and was not able to make it happen. And the last day he was there, we show up, we walk 2 miles into a public spot, and right away over the first coulee, good shooter buck that we'd been chasing that had already had a couple arrows launched at him, and he's elusive. He was just one that wasn't meant to die this year, and sneak in there, watch him. Here he comes. He's coming our way. Has no idea we're there. We're sitting on top of this bluff. He's working his way up. He's at like 40 yards, goes behind this brush. And the way he was working, it's like, oh, he's going to come out right here, 25 yards. Nope. Turns back around, starts walking the other way. I'm like, I'm thinking he's not going to let one fly. I'm filming it anyways because it's cool. And deer gets out 85 yards. Stops on his own. And, we practice shots like that. I mean, my buddy's very comfortable at that range, and he let one fly, and I've never seen a muley uh, duck as low as he did at 85 yards, and that arrow just goes right over his back, like exactly would have been perfect. Just slips over his back, and that's one I look at a lot. I had another one out there where I wasn't filming; I was the one hunting. My buddy Zach did a great job. Somehow filming. I don't know how exactly he did it. It's maybe just because he's hung out with me so many times, but he somehow got this shot. We had crept up on this buck out in some really steep country where if you slipped, it wasn't going to be a fun time at the end of the fall. And we got close to this buck, bedded up, stands up. He goes, kill him, rushes me. I shoot like 4 feet over his back, man. Like, and just the reaction of looking back on those clips, it's like, man, that was a good time. And sometimes for me, like, I don't exactly care about kill shots or anything like that, but at least when I had these videos, for me at least, especially with my buddies, it's more of just like I have these for memories. I had the pictures for memories, and the video is just even more cherry on top.
They're
Be
fun to
able to
watch.
exactly, go back and remember exactly what happened.
We
in that
watched
time.
them all at the camp during last weekend, and it was fun to watch.
It was fun.
Some of Cade's highs and lows of that trip.
It's just good going out there doing what, like, I love doing what I do, and that's that's what keeps me hungry and just keeps on wanting to get better every single day at whether it's editing or filming. So yeah.
And I really like how you kind of highlighted some of the misses because it's, I feel like sometimes in the hunting community, like just hunters themselves get so caught up and, seeing everybody on Instagram kill a big muley or a big whitetail or a bunch of birds or, 6-man limit of mallards or whatever it is. It's like, sometimes we kind of forget to just sit back and enjoy, laugh at yourself a little bit, just go have fun with some dudes or gals, whoever.
Exactly. And that's what really, exactly. I don't know. I can't speak for Swaggy, but at least for me, that's what really made, me enjoy filming a lot.
Yeah.
Is just, you see, especially like where we go in Canada, filming with outfitters, you see wads of snow geese, like 5,000 at a time come in. And, you see a lot of misses. And it's just like, wow, like, I don't know how you can exactly miss that many birds at 20 yards, but it happens all the time, more than you think. But it's just like, even though that happened, it's still a good clip, decoying birds, and it's just something to laugh at. It's just like, wow, like that would have been really sick, but they missed
all of them,
and maybe they shot one out of 9 guys. It's like 27 shots going off, and one bird dies.
Well, I mean, the thing is, if you hunt long enough, you're gonna miss.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you're gonna miss, and you're gonna miss.
To be honest with you, people have a hard time. I don't know. It's just sometimes the big flocks like mesmerize people.
Yeah.
And then they stop aiming.
Flock shooting.
Yeah, they're flock shooting.
Yep.
And you get the smaller group, 6, 7, and they take them all.
Yeah. So I mean, do y'all ever notice like at these outfitters that people who aren't used to being around cameras start maybe shooting a little faster or kind of not really thinking through their shot whenever they're on camera because they're just not used to it? Have you guys run into that?
Say more of, at least for me, filming with the guys, the outfitter that I film with now. I've been there for so long. I know a lot of the guys, and some of them, like some of the good groups that are kind of younger, they start getting cocky on camera, and they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna wait for tomorrow. We're gonna wipe them out." And they start shooting. It's like, boys, what's going on? What's going on here? Man? All that smack yesterday night at dinner, but now you guys can't hit a bird.
I've definitely had people ask if we can delete some of those clips.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, exactly. I can't. No,
we'll see that one somewhere.
Yeah. So, but for at least for me, that's where I see it. But a lot of the times you get guys that just get real timid. Like a lot of guys, they're all talkative. You shove that camera in a lot of people's faces, and they go like, silent. It's like they look like a ghost. Like
That's
It
why
scares them to
we
death.
try, and sometimes it's best to just try to get those candid moments. Don't let them see you filming. Try to
Mhm.
find a place where people don't even
Yeah.
know that you're filming, so they act naturally,
Mhm.
because it can change behavior.
Yeah, I mean, it's just being yourself and not being like. I kind of tell people, I'm like, hey man, you're kind of being like plywood right now. A lot of times on camera, people just kind of stiff it, and you're like, bro, what are you, a piece of plywood? Come on, homie, let's go.
Like sometimes Ben does that. You know, you stick that camera in his face and he just sits there like a lost puppy. You know?
No, Ben's got natural
Ben's
TV
natural
charisma.
TV,
Yeah,
top tier. You know, this
Very
is like the
easy.
guys you like dream of when you're
Yeah.
filming. You're like, yeah, just give me something real quick. What are we doing? And he just nails it first try.
Yeah.
It's like, man,
he
you
usually
make my
just
life
smiles and
easy.
laughs and goes, "All right, let's go."
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you just like 10 times easier. Sit your
A lot of one
take.
takers.
It's like when we were at NWTF that on Saturday,
What did I
and
do?
we shot that clip. You and John, you
Yeah.
guys nailed it first
Yeah.
try. I was like, man, dude, I thought we were gonna be here for a while.
Yeah, no, that
They
was
killed
good.
it. It's like,
So let's color grade it and let's
color
Yeah,
grade this.
let's
Let's get
go.
this up, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
It's a great feeling for like us too. Whenever it's like, I don't really know what you're looking for, and like in that specific scenario, like I just met you like 2 days ago. It's like I barely even know this cat. It's like I don't know what he wants me to do. Like I don't know. I'm just gonna be me, and it worked. And I was like, all right, bet, let's go.
Yeah,
Worked really well.
that's what a lot of people just need to realize. You know, it's just like, even in terms of even their content, it's just like do you.
Yeah.
Like it may not be what everyone else like loves to see,
Mhm.
but it's like if you want to create something that's for yourself, more of the times,
Yeah.
it's for you. It's your
Yeah.
content.
Mhm.
It's whatever your creative mind wants to create.
Mhm.
You know, don't let seeing a lot of people's other work, affect what you're doing. You know, take bits and pieces, but don't
Right.
try to exactly copy what everyone else is doing, because then you just fall in with everyone else.
Yeah. And don't be
industry we're
discouraged
in-
either. Don't
Yeah.
be discouraged by people that are just ridiculously good at stuff,
Yeah.
because it's, honestly, one thing about our industry, sometimes there can be kind of, it can be a little bit,
There's some jealousy floating.
yeah, there is sometimes,
Oh, yeah.
but you kind of just gotta just keep doing your thing. Just focus on you. Do your
Yeah.
thing. Be positive. Compliment people. Just keep grinding. If there's people being negative to you, just let it go.
Don't even respond.
Just keep on
Yeah.
going. Just keep on keeping on, because that's just something you're going to run into. The
Mhm.
more that you're doing stuff, and the more that your stuff's getting noticed, you kind of run into that. And I've run into it before. And you just got to keep doing your thing. Being supportive of other people that are doing your thing.
Yeah.
You're going to keep meeting people that are good people. And
Yeah, like I run into that with Swaggy all the time. It's like, man, dude, you content blowing me out of the water.
oh my God, don't listen
You
to
know
this
what I
guy
mean?
over here.
Now he's talking some mad over here. He's talking
Don't
some
listen.
junk.
I don't know. We're in
Yeah.
the presence of like one of the best
Oh.
photographers in the game right now, and
No.
that's for sure.
Yeah.
No.
I can guarantee you that right now, top
Yeah.
5 for sure.
I would say
all
that.
day,
True.
all day. He
True.
likes to be humble, but I mean, go look at that Instagram.
Go to his pictures and you'll see.
Go
Yeah.
look at that Instagram over there, Ryan
Mhm.
Poloway on the Instagram. Go check
Oh
it out.
God, no.
Yeah.
Give him a follow while you're at it.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll see on there like he's been on that 35-day Canada grind for a while now.
I've got my way. Influential poster, all right.
Yeah.
He's at about day
Yeah.
19. It's like
I think I made it into the 20s now.
it's like almost March here. So
yeah, we got to make that turkey switch.
eventually we
Yeah.
might end up at day 35 by the next time we're in Canada.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll get there.
Maybe so.
I still got stuff from last spring. I haven't posted.
Spring turkey hunting content won't be on there probably until July. So just
Yeah.
stay tuned, all right?
Or maybe even August. I
Yeah,
don't know.
exactly.
Maybe
Make
I'll.
sure you stay tuned on there. It'll end up
Yeah.
on there eventually.
Yeah.
Maybe for
One
a
day it
short
will
time,
be.
just a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah.
It'll be a small window. In
Remember
the
how
rest
he
of the
was
while.
saying, "Don't necessarily do what everybody else is doing."
Yes.
That's me. I
That
don't.
is you.
I do exactly
Yeah.
what I want to do,
Yeah,
and
that's right.
I just keep posting what I feel like, and
Yep.
I don't follow
Yeah.
necessarily what everybody.
Yep.
A lot of
That's right.
people will transition, and that's
Yeah.
kind of what we're making a joke about. A lot of people will transition like the second the duck season ends that day. The very next day, they're like, turkeys.
Season, baby.
Like, man, I'm thinking about them turkeys, and I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, we all are.
Yeah, we've been thinking about that.
Yeah.
We've
turkey
been.
season.
I've been already
Yeah.
out there filming them like an idiot
Yeah.
in the snow.
Yeah, in the snow. Yeah. One thing I will say, when you're in front of the camera,
Mm.
whoever's behind it,
Mhm.
if you're getting nervous about looking into the camera,
Yes.
just talk to your buddy.
Yeah.
I mean, just have a dialogue with them. Just look at them and talk to them.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the camera. Forget the camera's there. Just talk to whoever is standing behind it. And that way you're having that dialogue like you're talking to them. And then it comes out more natural.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
No, for sure. That's
because that lens has a way of scaring people.
Yeah.
Stage fright.
Some people don't like to see the reflection of themselves in that lens. You know, it scares them off. So. So, what about yourself, John? What have you been up to? You getting excited here for these turkeys or what?
Oh, dude, listen, man. There's a few things I truly love in this world, and turkey hunting's it's up there, buddy. I mean, it's like God, my wife, and turkey hunting, and sometimes that can change. Okay, I'm not gonna lie about it, but I freaking love turkey hunting, dude. I love it, man. I mean, I go out there and I just try to have a ball, and I learn so much, man. My favorite thing about turkey hunting is just the interaction. I don't know how much y'all know about me, but I mean, I've competition called. I've I've just been turkey hunting since I got into hunting. I just love it, man, and it's just so much fun. I love introducing people into turkey hunting, as Ben knows, and I've told this story kind of before on here a little bit, but I've got my father-in-law, poor little Richie. I've got him into turkey hunting this year. I'm taking his brother, my wife's uncle. I'm taking him out for the first time. I got my brother on his first long beard last year. Like, I just love it, dude. I love introducing people into it, and it's just so much fun. So yeah, I am ready. I'm I'm so freaking just ready to rip. And now I'm getting into trapping. So you asked me what I've been up to. Uh, yeah, dude. I've dude, it is so much fun. I didn't realize how much fun. Literally today, I got 2 raccoons. I think I just got another one while we're filming this. My wise eye's blowing up. I'm pretty sure it's a raccoon in a trap. So I just love it, man, because that stuff saves turkeys. And you know, it's just simple as this. If I can do something to create more turkeys, which then creates me able to shoot more turkeys in the face, I'm in. You convince me. I don't need to do anything else. Let's roll, dude. I'm all the way in. So yeah, man, I'm so ready, and I'm really pumped to hunt with y'all. I know we've got some exciting stuff lined up, dude. I'm ready to grip it and rip it, baby.
No, it should be a good spring. I'm excited. I haven't really been into the turkeys. All right, so we're getting there.
As people that are terrible at calling, I've killed a lot of turkeys, but I'm not a good caller.
Oh yeah, no. Listen, you do not need to be a competition caller. I mean, there's a whole episode right there that we could do about calls.
Yeah, we can dive off into the competition callers and.
Well, I've wanted to say I look
stuff.
forward to being somebody that can actually, call,
rip on that mouth call because
very
we've been
good.
out there. Boy, right here, he's been hitting
We've
that
been
mouth call.
we've been studying. And
I don't have any idea. We're watching videos midnight. How to gobble
all
on a
night
mouth
long,
call.
every night after done editing.
Yeah.
We're on the learning the turkey.
How to purr on a mouth call. How to bubble cluck on a mouth call.
I can show y'all.
He can teach you.
That would be great.
You know, the biggest thing that we've really been looking at is more of like, what calls is everyone running? There's
figuring
like
out
a million of them
which
things
mouth
out
call styles are the best.
Yeah, which one fits you the best?
Yeah.
Blah 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 blah. Like, all that stuff's nonsense, dude. People talk about, oh man, this tape, that tape, this latex, brother. Listen, dude. If I don't care what kind of thickness tape, some people just can't blow a call, man. And I don't care, dude. Like, you got to just, first things first, bro. If you can't yelp on a mouth call, like, quit talking about, oh, I use this grade and it's this wide. Bro, you can't even yelp, homie. What are you even talking about? Like, first things first, you got to be able to do the basics and then get into all that other stuff. Like there's some people who can do that, and it's just like the cameras that we were talking about. Like, hey, listen, don't care if it's a if it's a whatever you were talking, I don't know, you were talking Spanish to me, but if it's a blah 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 camera, it's like, hey dude, if you don't even know what ISO is, pump the brakes, okay? Like same concept here. It's like, listen, so for y'all, like what I would do is just start with a pot call, preferably like ceramic or slate, something easy. Like you need to know what a Yelp sounds like before you can recreate it with a mouth call.
They're not really that bad, John. They're just yanking your chain.
Yeah.
This dude right here is actually pretty good on a mouth call.
Dude, but that's the thing. Like, I don't know. Am I good? Am I not?
It's not the worst mouth call I've ever heard.
None of the birds ran away, so that's a good sign.
So, like,
the thing you got to remember is every hen sounds different. I've heard hens that sound like they've been smoking for 8 years.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, there's no true. Oh well, this is the exact pitch it has to be to kill a turkey. That's not a thing.
Yeah.
I mean, to kill one. I mean, I don't think it is.
No. We noticed that this morning. Some of those hens sounded raspy. Then all of a sudden, you get one of those ones that is just high pitches all get out.
Yeah. I was gonna say, and that could be an
age difference.
But it sounds like it's got like a squeaker toy in its mouth, dude. It was so
Well, first day one of our preseason filming, we were bouncing between my slate and his mouth call, and we had them all in the decoy, and it was fine.
Yeah.
So that was a good start. I think less is more sometimes for people like me. I don't do a ton of calling. I've killed a lot of turkeys because I just do what I need to get their attention, and I try to put myself in the right place, and I try to pattern the birds so that I don't really have to do a lot.
Yeah.
And that's how I've been successful because I know I'm not. I've never been really great on any instruments growing up as a kid. Getting into the calling with duck call, I don't call real heavy on a duck call or a goose call either. Just do what I need to do to get their attention. Just because I know I'm not that great, and that's how I've been good. But I definitely would love some tips. I'd like to get into the mouth
we definitely
call.
need to get into that.
I'd like to get
maybe we do another episode and we dive into how a mouth call should sound.
That'd be fun.
Then we can run through it together and just have a full teach episode.
Yeah. So then when he's over there sounding like Bo Brooks over there,
and then
we're sounding like some.
We're gonna sound like some old hags over here.
Letting it rip. Because I like what he's.
Bro, I am no Bo Brooks. So I'll tell you that right now. That is not me. But he's that dude, that brother. He's on another level, man.
Man, dude, what if we sounded like this?
You win a competition.
Yeah, but like the communication side of things, that's how I've always been. Like, I haven't really been into the turkey hunter. I just like calling animals, duck calling, goose calling. I want to be like the best I possibly can be because it's like I love communicating with them, with them animals out there, and if I can sound as real as I possibly can be, that's just that much more fun. That's what makes it fun at the end of the day.
The interaction,
messing around.
That's why turkey to me is one of the core of all of them. There feels like more interaction to me than any of the other hunting.
I don't know, a honker.
Honker, I guess, yeah.
Wisconsin but honker.
I just don't
honker,
get
dude,
it's the adrenaline. I love honker hunting. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love it. But I'm not as big of a deer hunter as you, so I haven't had as many experiences with that. Right. That might be the same impact on me once as we get into it more, and you guys kind of show me the ropes on that. But in the last 6-7 years of really turkey hunting all over different parts of the country, it seems to me almost every single time that I get in that scenario where the tom is about to be in shooting range, I get this overwhelming just get that rush, and I don't necessarily get that with others. Maybe because I've been around big snow feeds and coming in, like I don't even get it to that level.
Yeah, so, I don't know. The first spins for me of the year when you get up there and you start hunting them Rossies.
Yeah, I mean you get pumped.
Jazzed,
you get pumped, but I get almost shaky from a tom to a different level where I'm like it just gets you going. I don't know.
Another thing about what you're doing with a tom is you're going against nature because the nature is for the hen to come.
Sure,
and you're calling him to you.
We were talking about this the other day.
Yeah, I was and that is for me being able to communicate effectively with that bird and get him to do something that he is born not to do.
Yes.
That is what it's about. Is that's enjoyable. Being able to do that and conquer something that can be extremely smart when they decide to be.
I've got a question for everybody.
Yeah.
Let's go one at a time.
Yeah.
If you could go to one state and hunt turkey, which state would you go to? John, why don't you start, and then we'll go in a circle of where you'd like to kill a turkey most.
Ooh, okay. So I'm trying to complete the slam, so I want to go to South Florida and then somewhere out west that has a Merriam. But of places I have been and I have experienced, I would say I want to go back to Texas because those turkeys. So Easterns, where I'm from, they seem to be a little smarter, a little more pressured, opposed to these Texas Rios. At least the ones that Ben and I encountered. I'm not gonna lie, dude. They were kind of just plumb dumb, and they came in strutting, spitting. I mean, just gobbling in our face. We shot the two, and then the other one stayed there. We had to push it out of the way to get it off my bird. Like that was exciting, and it's just so fun because they're so interactive and they gobble a ton. So I would say places I've been, I want to go back to Texas, but as places I haven't been or haven't shot a bird yet, I definitely want to get an Osceola and get a Merriam, and then of course I want to go get an Oscillated and a Gould's and all that jazz one day. But so that's my answer.
Ben?
Well, I would have to say probably Montana. Just because I want to see that landscape and I want to kill a Merriam in Montana. Now, don't get me wrong, I want to kill the Osceola turkey too, but I don't know, something about killing a bird in snow-capped mountains that seems
as one
pretty nostalgic.
That's where I shot many turkey. It's hard to beat.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, one day you may wake up and there's 6 foot of snow on the ground,
Yeah.
I mean, next day it's still 6 foot of snow on the ground.
Yeah.
Trying to track these birds down, and I guess you just hunt the creek systems.
We just might get out there this year. We'll see.
Yeah, maybe.
I got some spots
We'll
for us.
Y'all stay tuned.
Oh,
yeah.
We're gonna have to stay tuned. You never know
what
where
could
the
happen.
Rooted Boys are gonna
You
end
never
up.
know. Swaggy P might take us on a little adventure back to the roots.
I'm in. Whatever it is, I'm in. Let's go.
Yeah, let's get it.
That's right.
What about you, Kade? Where do you want to go?
Like I said, I'm not really a turkey guy.
Yeah.
I might become one after this year, but I haven't really been getting after the turkeys at all. Really, I like the deer and I like the waterfowl. Never really, at least where I grew up, the turkey hunting just isn't like that big of a deal. So I don't know, but I want to do something out west because I just love it out there. Out west, it's just beautiful country out there.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I just love anything that's run and gun. I can't do the sit around for 5 hours and wait unless I'm chasing whitetails back home. Only time I'll sit around and wait. But I want to do like run and gun and get up there in the mountains, hills, and chase down me a couple longbeards. It'd be whether eventually like Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, those 3 states like.
Very cool places.
I would definitely love to go. I don't know. I don't even know like the different kinds of turkeys there are. Whatever is out there, like watch out, we're coming soon. That's all I gotta
say. So I've shot Merriams. I think I shot like a Merriam Rio hybrid before. Washington, really beautiful on the eastern state. Crazy terrain. Huge bluffs. Most Wild West looking kind of places. Montana, shooting turkeys in the snow, and done some East Coast stuff. Beautiful Easterns in North Carolina and West Virginia up in the Blue Ridge and stuff like that. But had a great time in Tennessee last year chasing Eastern. But I'm after that elusive Blackwing Osceola this year, and that's what I want. I'm going to Florida. Hopefully, Kade and I are doing some research. Ben's doing the research. We're looking at places. We're meeting people. If you're out there and you have any...
we don't know when this is going to be launched. But if you're out there, These are
That'll
the
be
guys
lunch next week.
next week. So I know that season is like what, March 4th?
March 4, we're going to be in
Hit
the
up your
area.
boys.
6th through the 10th, we're going to be in Florida.
We'll be around.
We're going to try to get on an Osceola.
A
And
couple of them, 6 hopefully. We're trying to kill all 6 of them.
And we might do some turkey hunting in North Florida. We'll see. But we're going to try to get down there. We're going to try to just have a good time.
Oh, yeah.
Throw through the swamps. Watch out for them snakes.
Water
The
moccasins.
gators.
The gators.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I just can't wait to get out anyway in general.
Yeah.
So we want to get out for the first season that's opening of the year. So we're going to head down there and
film the crap out of
Give
it.
it a try.
see what happens.
Yeah.
Hopefully episodes come soon on that. We're we're excited for it. We're excited for it. We're really excited for
Stay
it.
tuned. Might be some fun stuff this year. Turkey's going to be a good time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we got to kill them first, but
we're going to at least have fun doing it.
we're gonna have fun doing it.
Yeah,
You guys
trying.
might not see that part, but
No, I think I would
we're
say
gonna have fun doing it.
I would like to film the reality of failures.
Yeah,
and
that
these
sounds great.
successes, because Turkey.
Because it happens so much with us all the time.
Yeah,
I'd say it happens with anybody that hunts. You're going to have a lot of failure
Yeah.
before you have success.
But I like kind of showing the reality, because then it makes the victories that much better.
Sweeter,
Yes.
that much sweeter.
Yeah, no two ways about that. Well, folks, I think we've run out of time here for today. Let's wrap this thing up.
Yeah,
And,
we got to go chase turkeys in the morning.
yeah,
so.
appreciate you guys being on
we loved
as guests today. That was great to have you
Yeah,
guys.
Hey, where can people find y'all at?
Instagram for me is Kade with the K, Kade Sloan SLOAN _ on Instagram.
Yep.
That's, you can find me on Facebook. I probably won't add you back as a friend, to be honest with you. That's just not how I roll. But
follow them on Instagram.
Instagram's the place to be at.
Yeah.
Be there, be square. TikTok. We're starting to get into TikTok. I think it's Kade Sloan 2. Check it out on the TikTok. Obviously, we can't show any killing over there, so if you really want to go see some stuff get shot in the face, check it out over on Instagram.
Yep. And then mine's just first last name, Ryan, RYAN, Poloway, POLOWAY. That's Instagram. And then
What's that TikTok?
that TikTok is Swaggy P 83.
Swaggy P 83, baby.
Swaggy P 83. Check it out.
Hit me up on. I'm about 7 years too late on TikTok, but I'm on there and I'm posting some turkey stuff. So check it out. Yeah,
check it out. Check it out.
Thanks for having us on,
Yeah,
guys.
appreciate it.
John, always good to talk to you, buddy.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate y'all for coming.
Talk to you, buddy.
It's always good talking to you.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, can't wait to get together and do some more stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Turkeys beware.
Absolutely. Let's go shoot some birds.
Let's do it.
All right. With that, I am going to sign off. The redneck is out.
Yeah, the redneck is out. See y'all.
See y'all.